I'm pretty sure we're live.
Yeah, I know, but it's giving me all these alerts about something about Twitter. So, but anyway, cheers, everybody. Welcome to Sips and Scripts, the podcast that brings together the best of both worlds, cocktails and movies. We will dive into an all-time favorite film, and sometimes we'll explore the latest releases, but we'll always pair it with a delicious cocktail and share our thoughts, opinions, and even some behind-the-scene trivia. I am Kirsten Jackson. I am a blogger and cocktail influencer at lowcountrysocialite.com. And I am joined by my wonderful co-host, Terrell.
Yo.
Hey, and Jeff.
What up?
Yes. So everyone, welcome to the show. How you guys doing? Jeff, what's going on in your world?
Today is a wonderful day because this special edition of Sips and Scripts is not only brought to you by the three of us, but co-founder, host, and extraordinary person that I have the pleasure of knowing, and you have the pleasure of being related to, Terrell. It is your birthday, Miss Kirsten Jackson. So we want to say happy birthday to you.
Yay!
Shout you out on your wonderful day. You turned 21, so you can finally drink legally. All these other times all these other times, I don't know what you've been doing, but yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
21 plus years ago. I hear you.
Yeah, 21
plus 21.
Plus
21. 21.
21.
Now just a damn minute here. y'all ain't gonna roast me. I'll roast y'all. That's how it's gonna be.
I hear you. I'm gonna let you live because it's your birthday. But how did you enjoy your birthday? What did you do for your birthday?
Well, I had me a little get together at home, and it was a really beautiful day. Nothing too crazy, nothing too rambunctious. My party days, they're behind the old girl. So, but some friends and family showed up. Even my cousin Jeff came down. Wasn't that nice?
I was there. Cousin Jeff. I was there.
So yeah, and ate a little seafood and low country boil and crab crack, and that was pretty much it. And it was a great day. Everybody made me feel so special and spoiled me with gifts and cards and cash apps and cash and hugs and best wishes. And
let me borrow some.
I got you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, cool. I'm gonna put it in the mail for you.
Okay, Lord. Never gonna get it. I'm never gonna get it. I sent my mom a birthday card. It took like 11 days. I paid to send my mom a birthday card, and it got there like a week after her birthday. So yeah, I'll be waiting.
Goodness. Well, oh man, yeah, the mail is really tough these days. I don't know. COVID changed everything.
It did.
But
so wait, are you a Taurus or are you an Aries?
I am a Taurus.
All right. My dad's a Taurus, so I get it.
We good people. Mm-hmm.
Bullheaded for the Bulls. I know what it means. And I'm not talking about the Chicago Bulls. I'm talking about Taurus Bulls.
You know what? How about we just get into your little raggedy episode? Okay, how about that?
That's fine.
Okay. This started off pretty good. That's raggedy. Okay, all right.
That's
anyway. Outside. The bull.
No, not yet.
Does the bull not have a head?
Yeah, but it could just be that I'm strong, not that I'm strong-headed and stubborn, sucker.
I mean, to each his own.
Whatever.
But as you were saying, I digress.
Thank you. Anyway, so today we are talking about The Wood, 1999 release that is a coming-of-age story. So first, we'll talk about everybody's history with the film. And Terrell, you go. Well, Jeff, you know what? This is your episode. Yes, this is Jeff's first lead episode. Everybody clap and welcome the young man to give his Easter speech.
All right.
Happy Easter speech.
I know.
Hello.
So Jeff, yeah, it's on you. Who are you picking to give their history?
Yeah,
It's all you.
you were right in the right direction. We want to hear from Terrell. I know he's a fan of this movie, so I want to hear about his history with the film. What you got, Terrell?
All right. So let's see. The Wood, 1999. Did not see this in movie theaters because Hanzo didn't have a movie theater.
Yes, it did.
No, Bryce was already closed. They closed Bryce to open up that Liberty Cinema. It took some years before
Wow,
we had a actual movie theater in Hinesville. How you
that's
don't
crazy.
know? You was there. We had to go to
I
Savannah.
forgot about that. Yeah, it was some time
Mm-hmm.
in between. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So didn't see it there, but let's see. I actually got on to knowing about the movie through the soundtrack. Soundtrack, masterful. Outkast, Cash Money, uh, R. Kelly. Just, soundtrack was hidden.
Yeah.
Okay, agreed, absolutely.
Okay, now I
I
seen
just
your
have
face
to.
when I said
No,
R. Kelly.
when
It was
I
still on
hear
the soundtrack.
true, and R. Kelly did make some amazing music. It's automatic side eye when I hear his name. I can't help it
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
I feel you. So
But
yeah, but then I think I saw it later on. I think I ended up watching it later on, probably either at my sister's house or at somebody's house. And I really didn't care for it too much when I first saw it, but then as the years went on, the more it played, the more I saw it, the more I was like, man, this movie is great. So it turned into a one of my classics.
Definitely.
oh, we have a comment. It says hi everyone.
Hello,
Hey,
hello.
hey.
Hello. Good
Good
afternoon to you
afternoon.
too. Thank you for
Good
joining us.
afternoon.
Yeah. All right, Jeff.
All right. So I would say my relationship with this film, 1999, I'm telling my age, but I was like a freshman or maybe a sophomore, maybe a sophomore in high school. So this was like a perfect adolescent, you know what I mean? Like film that really spoke to like men and young boys. You know what I mean? Like this was like a real good some if you ever needed like a viewpoint as to what adulthood or manhood and going from boys to men, pun intended, looked like from like the African Americans lens. This is a good film to kind of see like young teenage boys, some of the crazy things that they talked about, some of the crazy ways they acted. And then as men, some of the same crazy things they still talk about, some of the same crazy things that they do. So it was a good, definite reflection of not only my childhood or bits and portions of my childhood, as well as now that I'm an adult, a grown kid, if you will, that it definitely kind of plays between both. But star-studded cast. I did go see this in the movie theater. It was one of those feel good movies where the humor was definitely on point. Every episode I always talk about how beautiful these black women were in these roles. So you got Tamala Jones that was just amazing, and she looked at Lisa Ray. Like, come on, it was a lot of beautiful women that was in this particular film. But yeah, it was really good humor, really good feel good story. And if you were ever not necessarily contemplating or on the fence about marriage, but if you got cold feet and kind of wanted to go down memory lane and needed some reassurance from your boys, The Wood is definitely one of those movies that kind of helps you like, nah, man, you got this. Like, it's time to grow up. It's time to be a man. Step up to the plate. Go ahead and knock this out. You know what I mean? As Jack and Evans was saying, we ain't getting no younger, so you might as well do it. So, um, yeah. So that was my history with the film. What's up, Kirsty?
All right. Well, okay. So I had never seen the movie. But I will say I'm curious as to why you didn't like it at first, Terrell.
Yeah, me too.
I guess it was the time period that it was in. I was like, I really don't care about what was going on in the movie. But then, like I said, the older I got and the more I watched it, I was like, okay, this is interesting. The premise is good, the story is good, the acting is good, the cast is great. And then I just was like, I'll rock with it. Just something that
Okay.
just fell on me later on in life. Like there's a few movies I've seen. I was like, and then I'll go back and watch. And I was like, wasn't that bad. But this one, I could watch The Wood anytime, like anytime. Yeah. I've seen it probably in the last year. I've seen it at least 2 or 3 times.
So rewatchable for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
But Miss, you've never seen it. How is that even possible for all this time frame? We're talking about over 20-something years. You haven't seen this movie?
Okay, so it's interesting. Like, I have never seen The Wood, but I knew the story. And I remember the scenes, like I remember the boner scene, and I remember the If This World Were Mine song, and like I remember. So I guess it is very.
It's a cult classic. It's ingrained in the culture for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say it is part of the fabric of Black America. So I recognized, but like when I watched it to get ready for this episode, I recognized. I was like, okay, and I knew what was going to happen, and it's a pretty predictable film. It's also kind of boring, but not in a bad way. It's to me, it seems like it's one of those that's just like just a coming of age. Like it's nothing fantastic, like this, like crazy plot, like trying to deactivate a bomb. Like it's just
what?
That's a different movie. That's called The Negotiator.
No, I'm saying that like it ain't no like how usual plots were, like something happened, gotta fix it, and then it ends.
Something did happen. The groom what time to get married?
Even that was kind of.
I got it, Terrell.
I got it. Straighten out. Okay.
No, I got it. I got it, Terrell.
Please straighten
out. On that note, then you are now challenged for the 60-second challenge to recap this entire film.
No,
since you haven't seen it. Perfect timing. I told you I had the lob right there on you. Happy birthday, cousin. Tell us about this film in 60 seconds. Go ahead and throw 60 seconds on the clock.
Man, I hate you both. Fine. I had to do the 60-second recap last week, so I think it's only fair.
No, it's your birthday. It's only right. It's your birthday. We're ladies first. You got all of the cards. It's on you.
Well, one of you suckers count me in then. I hate you both.
All right. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so The Wood is a 1999 coming of age story starring Omar Epps and Taye Diggs and the guy that everybody hates. And so Taye Diggs is getting married. I can't remember his character's name or any of the characters' names, but he's getting married and he's got cold feet and he's gotten drunk and he's trying to sleep with his ex, I think it was. And so it basically, while they're trying to get the ex ready to go down the aisle and get them all sobered up and stuff, they reminisce about the old days, about how when they were kids and how they used to just how they met and how they used to hang around girls and try to talk to them and try to date them and then talk about losing their virginity, or just one really. And then but they get him sobered up and then he marries the bride, and then one of the old flames comes back, and then they don't know if they get together.
All right. Woo. That was brutal. That was brutal. Mm-hmm. So you really didn't watch this film, huh?
That was something.
You said I didn't?
I think this comment says it all.
Right. I agree. I absolutely agree.
Wow.
Yep. So glad we have viewers today. Continue to chime in, guys, on the comments of anything that you guys feel about this film, or just Kirsten's just, overall synopsis.
I think I did a fine job. What plot points did I miss?
There was a lot, but that's fine. Yeah. That's what this episode is all about. We're going to unpack it. And by the end of this episode, hopefully you got a new appreciation for a 25-year-old, 26-year-old film that you just happened to bypass for 26 years. But that's amazing. That is amazing.
You know what, Jeff? Oh, okay. All right. Well, you know what? It's on you, player.
Well, I think if any time, this is a great time to have a cocktail, because I need one after that. Horrible. I mean, wonderful, wonderful thing. But no, in all seriousness, today's cocktail It's very simple to make. You can actually pick it up. As you guys know, I work for Jack Daniels, and we actually have coming up in our summer months the ready to drink or RTD category, Jack and Coke. So we have an official sponsorship with Coca-Cola, and for a limited time only for the summer, you can get Jack and Cherry Coke, which I'm gonna drink today, Jack and Cherry Coke. And for the birthday girl, we also have in the variety pack Jack and Vanilla Coke. So, Miss Kirsten, we're gonna go ahead and crack our cans open, and I'm going to give you a virtual toast. Happy birthday to you. Many more years of love, life, and success. I'm very happy to have met you and both Terrell. This is an awesome platform. Thank you guys for letting me be a part of this. This is a great, way for us to not only just dissect films, but really just share our perspective and just fellowship with one another. So I really appreciate it. Happiest of birthdays to you, and more blessings to you to come. Cheers.
Oh, thank you. Cheers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What you think of the vanilla and Coke, Jack and
well, I
vanilla
knew
Coke?
I was gonna like it because I've tried the regular Jack Daniels and Coke, and it's amazing. So a little bit of flavor ain't just gonna make it better.
I figured as much. Same. Cherry Coke is my favorite out of the RTDs outside of the Jack and Cherry Coke.
I like the cherry, and I just found the ginger ale one, so
nice.
I'm happy about that. So, but you said these are only a limited time?
Yep. Only a limited time. So this summer only, you can get the variety pack. It's got Cherry Coke, you got Vanilla Coke, and the Jack and Coke.
So they're not going to make the regular Coke ones either?
No, the regular Coke ones is staying for sure, but the Cherry Coke and the Vanilla Coke, yeah, there's only limited time. But who knows? If everybody keeps going grabbing them off the shelf, they might bring it for permanent. But I know for sure Cherry and Vanilla Coke are okay. Take your time. It's only 7% alcohol, but you acting like it's like it was a big old shot of cognac
for you. You all right?
No, it's no, it's not strong at all. It's amazing. Like
okay,
but it went down the wrong pipe.
I think that's the first time Sips and Scripts just spit all on the camera right on live. Right.
My bad. So my bad. But no, it's good because I had I don't know where I tried it first, but I just had the regular one, and I had it like somewhere, and then I immediately went out like the next day and bought like the pack of them. They were just that good. They're very good. And I like Coke. I love Coke. So
it wasn't until I moved to Georgia that I found out how many people in Georgia really have an affinity for Coke. Like that's the thing.
Oh yeah.
Like, like I'm from Chicago, so a lot of people talk about Pepsi, and then you mention Pepsi in Georgia, you might get stabbed or shot because everybody here is Coca-Cola. I was
Pepsi
like,
is gross. Pepsi tastes like Robitussin. So
all right, okay then. All right. Well, since neither one of them are endorsing me or paying me, but I do drink Jack Daniels with Coke, so now Jack and Coke is my favorite.
Mm-hmm. Gotta love it. Well, all right. Well, let's rip into this movie like a Christmas present. So, Jeff, why did you choose this movie?
I chose this movie.
That's a good place to start.
I think because we're going into the summer. When you think about like, here's a best question for both of you guys, and it leads into why I chose it. When you guys think of the summer, can you not think about your childhood growing up? Like, what does summer represent to the three of you, or to the two of you, I should say? Hot.
Yeah, I think when I was a kid, just being outside playing.
Yeah.
Nonstop, drinking out the water hose.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, even as an adult,
from house to house.
Me and Terrell spent our summers together, so yeah, it was a lot of running around, going from house to house, getting whoopings. Even though Terrell got a lot more than I did.
I would say it'd be 90-10, 90 my way, only 10% your way.
Bruh, no.
It's hilarious.
Lies you tell. But anyway, yeah, just learning about ourselves and learning about the world around us and our family and our own selves and our own bodies. And so, yeah.
And
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, even as adults, when you think of summertime, you automatically revert to your childhood. Like summers is everything for kids. You know what I mean? Like summer vacation, you're like, oh wow, I can't wait to see my friends. Maybe go to water parks, do some crazy stuff in the neighborhood. Like even as adults, you're like, oh wow, it's the summer, and you can't help but reminisce. So that's how I chose the film. It was like, oh, we getting ready to go into summer. What's a good summer, time movie? And I thought about The Wood. So that's how we landed here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do think that summer waves.
Mm-hmm.
We used to hit that every summer.
Oh my God, you almost drowned every summer.
Yeah, which I still don't understand. How you drowning? You on the tube? But
I don't know.
Oh, good.
Family reunions.
Totally. Yeah. And also weddings too. Honestly, like I will say that this film, I'm sure, gets the love that it does deserve, because there are a lot of elements in the film that are just very familiar to that time of year and familiar to that age range. So yeah definitely. I have a question for you guys. And if it's too personal, you don't have to answer, but yeah, you do. So one of the big scenes in the movie is like the virginity scene, the virginity loss scene.
How did I know you was about to say? Let me take another sip of my drink. Go ahead.
Yeah, do that. Drink the whole thing. Just drink it down and then answer. But our first time's always awkward.
Terrell, you want to take this one?
Yeah, I'll take it. I'm gonna say, from what I can remember, yeah, it's awkward.
Damn, bro.
I mean, from what I can remember, yeah, it was like, because you've never been in that situation before. You know you like this person, you close to this person, but you've never been this close to this person. And it's just like the whole, it's nerves going on. It's like, and I was a little younger, so like, are we gonna get caught? Type vibes going on. It was stressful. I'm not even gonna lie. It was a stressful moment.
Absolutely,
but well worth it.
I would agree. I will also say this, and it also pairs with the movie as well. J. Cole made the perfect soundtrack to this movie before it was even made. I mean, actually, the song was even made. But if you ever want to get inside of an adolescent boy's mind and want to know about the first time listen to J. Cole's song when he was talking about, like, you come off with this fake confidence. The boys are stupid. I'm gonna just say it like that. We are 100%. We lead with this false confidence. Like, oh yeah, girl, I'm gonna do this to you. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. And it's like, no, you're not. Stop it. You know what I mean? Like, so what you saw in the film, like, it was like, oh yeah, like betting, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so crass, it's so tasteless and tasteless and just tacky. But that's what young boys do. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, felt on her butt for $1. All of those things are adolescent boys that are 100% what, unfortunately, I'm not saying that I did that, because I'm not going to convict myself. However, I'm going to say that is very spot on to teenage young boys and how their minds work and how they act. So to answer your question, was it awkward? Hell yes, it was definitely awkward, because we ain't know what we were doing. You know what I mean? And like you said, like Terrell said, we shouldn't be doing it, wondering if we're going to get caught, all of this other stuff. Or, for me, I grew up in the church, so like, oh, this is wrong. God is going to be displeased with me and all of that good stuff. And, yeah, I'll just say it was very awkward for sure. But, safety first, what I mean? I definitely had to have in mind to, make sure that I had safe sex and, I didn't have, unwanted pregnancies or anything like that. So still to this day, 41. And I was still scared of my parents. The wrath of my parents still reigns true. I'm 41 years old, still don't have no kids, not married. I want both, but I don't know. It was something about getting that young girl pregnant, or, having a child out of wedlock, that she scared fire in me. So here we are 41 years later.
At this age, at this big old age.
No, I think at this age, they'd be like, man, what you waiting on, bro? What you waiting on, bro? I'm gonna be 50 years old with a newborn at this stage. So no, I don't think they would trip.
That sound like my mama. Like she was like, just do it. I'm like, Mom,
Just do
Literally.
it.
just
Literally.
do it.
Just do it. What, like Nike? What
Yeah, I shit you not. She's like, just have the baby. Just do it. I'm like, okay. So, but yeah, I would say I have like a slightly different answer. Like, because a lot of people say that their first time was awkward. I was a little older when I had my first time. Like I was in my early 20s. So like, but my first time was actually one of the best times. And everybody I tell that to, they're like, I'm like, I don't know how it happened, but it was actually a pretty good experience.
See, I knew it's your birthday. You didn't turn this into lip service. You're a little freaky self. Listen, ma'am, this is still Sunday. This is the Lord's Day.
Amen.
Okay?
Amen. I'm just saying, you have to be truthful.
I hear you.
But no, like, and I think it might have been because I
nice little romp. I had a nice little romp.
A nice little romp.
Yeah,
that's my favorite term. But no, it was, and I like I said, I think it was because I waited, and I think it was because I did not wait until I was in love to do that. Like I don't know, just like one day I was like, you know what? I think probably the next person that I get close to, I think that's what I'll do. Like it was like a conscious decision. Like it wasn't a like my emotions are leading me to do this. So,
you know what's so crazy? The fact that you have an A-type personality, you probably had it on your calendar and everything. You sent the calendar invite to him like on Thursday. It's the day. Please accept that calendar invite. He was like, all right, cool. But again, men are stupid. Yeah, all right, I'll see you on Thursday.
First of all, I did not write it. I did not write it on my calendar until afterwards. I marked the day and put a little heart there.
Wow.
So
wow. Okay.
y'all some jerks, man. But yeah, like, but I do love that this film showed a very awkward exchange, because I think there are some instances where like movies will over dramatize situations like that. They're like, it's just this beautiful interaction between two people, and it's like, no, your first time is almost always very awkward. You don't know what to say. And then also I was thinking, like, because when he went and got the condom out of her brother's room, I was like, now why did he get to? Because that first one, it's gonna be like 5 seconds, dude. I mean, but kids don't know that. Kids don't really know their bodies yet. And so I thought,
that's it. I was like,
yeah,
that sounds about right. That was it.
Because imagine like waiting all that time and you're told that sex is this wonderful thing. Because like, people just sensationalize sex, and it's like, it's great, it's wonderful, and then you finally do it, and it's like,
that's it.
Okay.
She said that in the movie.
Yeah.
That's it. He was like, yep.
He was like, yeah, he was proud of it though. He was
That's
like,
it.
that was all me.
No, that was all me.
Right.
Yes,
that's why Terrell had a hard time thinking about it. It was so long. It was a quick second. That's why we thought about it. It took a minute for us to recollect. Like, wait, did I? I don't remember. So quick.
Exactly. Look at Terrell stuck. But anyway. So yeah. But yeah, I
mic dropped on us too. Look at it. He mic dropped off and got off. I'd have made him run off.
But yeah, so but I did just want to ask that and then answer the question. So
Gotcha.
But yeah. All right. On you, Jeff.
Well, I guess while we're waiting on Terrell to join back in, I didn't ran him off. Sorry, brother. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable that you had to leave. But the film is called The Wood. It was filmed in 1999 or released in 1999. It's a comedy romance, as we talked about. It was directed by Rick Famuyiwa. I actually got a teammate that was named that as well.
Yeah, because I was like, "Ooh, that name is a mouthful," and I
absolutely Famuyiwa. And he also wrote this with Todd Boyd. It stars Omar, Epps, Richard T. Jones is who you were talking about. I don't know how you could forget Mr. Richard T. Jones. He's the one that sent Jill Scott to the mountains in the car
Nobody
by
knows
herself.
his real name. He
Yes.
is the one that that everybody hates in every
Hates.
role he
You're right.
plays.
Absolutely. That's a mark of a
Because
good actor.
if you say the black dude that be in the movies and everybody hate him, you be like, oh,
Oh, Richard T.
Sheila's
Jones. Yeah.
Michael.
She was with
Mhm.
Michael. Yep. Sent it to the mountains. And of course,
Yeah.
the great Taye Diggs. Now, I don't know what sources that you and Terrell get y'all info from on how much money they had to make the money, but all I can say is MTV was one of the co-producers of this movie, and I was like, oh wow, this is the first film that I saw MTV actually put out. So I
I
was
didn't
like, it
know that.
gotta, yeah. In the
Wow.
very beginning, when they be like, we're gonna take it way back into time. It was literally the little moon man that was coming across the screen. So yeah, it was MTV for sure.
Okay. I'm trying to see if that's familiar to me.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know. Wow.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Welcome back, Terrell.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, appreciate it. Internet
no
is
doubt.
interneting. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, same
Yeah.
on our
And it
side of
still
town too.
is.
Same thing over here. Shout out to Xfinity. Gotta love it when you need it. But
Yeah.
uh, but yeah. So that was. I mean, if I had to do an educated guess, it would be a pretty big budget. So I'm not gonna put my foot in my mouth and guess
No,
on
it's
what the
all
budget
good.
was.
Like the budget, I'm looking at it. The budget was 6 million and it recouped 25 million. So it did do well.
You did do well. Good deal.
Mm, it did do well. And the Rotten Tomato score um for the film is a 61% on Rotten Tomatoes. So yeah, Roger Ebert, excuse me, called it a sweet, lighthearted comedy and applauded the filmmaker for capturing members of cinematically marginalized African American middle class. And you know what? I did appreciate that this was like middle class black folks,
Mm-hmm.
especially in a time where like Boys in the Hood had just come out and like other
Yeah.
like urban films.
Right.
And so it was just a different look at how black people are. We're
Yeah.
not all
Yeah.
from the hood, which is okay to be from the hood, of course, but it's just like there's lots and lots of different kinds of black people. So
Yeah. I
I
agree
really enjoyed that look.
for sure.
Mhm.
So let's get into the movie, y'all. Like, well, since Terrell's having technical difficulties cursing,
What's
um, tell me about some questions that you may think of. Like one of the things that I think of, have you ever been a first time like or new person in the school or any of that? Like, what was your experience of being like new in a new environment? Or if you could share that kind of correlates with the movie.
I've been a new person at a school, but I was so young that I really don't remember. And I talk a lot, so I tend to have like made friends pretty easily. But I do know the experience of just being a new person in a new place, like starting jobs and starting college. And it's always very, very scary. And the teacher, like that scene with the teacher, gosh, she was so obnoxious with like making him stand up and making him go in front of the class. And I think, she meant well, her heart was in the right place, but it was just like, girl, just let him say his name and start teaching. Because, girl,
Right.
leave them children alone. It was real like, get up here and give your Easter speech. So, yeah, but I have experience. And it's like, when you're a kid, everything seems like so much larger in life. Like I've started jobs several times and I've been through the experience of like, stand up, introduce yourself. And the god awful icebreakers. Tell us 2 truths and a lie. And but no, actually that night that was actually fun. But yeah, like the icebreakers, like, tell us something about yourself that no one knows. And it's like, nobody knows shit about me because I don't know any of you people.
All right, I'm new here.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, so now, I mean, it's still, it makes me a little nervous, but not nearly as much as it would have as a child. Um, but like I said, as a child, everything is larger than life. Like you always think
Yeah,
like the scope is on you, and the world just seems so huge and so big, and you have to stand up in it and give your name and talk about yourself. That it's a lot. And but I will say, when it comes to like coming of age, so I don't really go to church now as
Mhm.
an adult.
Heathen,
I know.
heathen.
But I
Wow.
will say that
Mhm.
I don't like, but I don't regret growing up in church because I learned a lot.
Same.
And not
Yeah.
Yeah,
even just
same.
like from a spiritual aspect or like religious aspect. I learned a lot about how to conduct myself in public. I learned how to sing in public. I learned how to give speeches, and I learned how to be able to sit for hours and hours, and whether I'm hungry or tired or sleepy or whatever, like these
Yeah,
are skills that you learn. So I did have that advantage of like, having to say something on the spot. I don't think I'm like 100% good at it like that, but I'm not bad at it. So,
yeah.
but yeah, that's just like my coming of age. So I do feel like there are benefits to raising children in church because
Mhm.
Sure.
you get those experiences, like, yeah. So, but yeah.
I agree. I agree. What about you, Terrell?
What's the question?
Oh, yeah, were you here for the question? I think you had popped
No.
off.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
have you ever been new somewhere, like a brand new student or a brand new wherever? Like, what was your experience being brand new in a new environment?
I don't believe I've ever been new, especially not at school. Then by the time I went to college, I was old.
Hmm,
So I really wasn't there to converse or kick it around with anybody else. So I was
gotcha.
like, but yeah, I think, yeah, I've
They
never
used
been
to,
a
but
new
Terrell,
student.
they used to make us stand up in church all the time. So
Oh,
I
yeah,
think you
when
can
we,
speak from that
yeah, now,
perspective.
okay. Being now growing up in church, like you said, yeah, that did teach us a lot. And I never really got over that, like that jolt of speaking in front of people because
Mhm.
that's like something I dread. Because I'll never forget vacation Bible school, and they was like, "Tell us what you learned in vacation Bible school," and I was like, and I just stood there, and they was looking at me, and I was looking at them, and they was looking at me, and I was looking at them.
You're not
I
lying.
had zero to say, and then they was like,
That's
"Well,
crazy.
okay, on to the next one."
Oh my goodness. We got a comment that says, "I love a good icebreaker."
Definitely.
What? If you are
Surprise,
still
surprise.
with us, please tell us what icebreaker you enjoy because I've never enjoyed any of them. I think they're stupid.
I do too.
That's why you enjoyed that two lies and I mean two truths and a lie with me. Because
Yeah,
they
but
are because it's
yeah,
weird.
but
Okay, so think
there
about it.
was
You
there was liquor there, so that made it
that
good.
too. That is also an icebreaker. But no, you got to think about it. You the concept of being in a place with brand new people. And Terrell, you literally are in Texas, so you were new there
Right.
because you knew Georgia, right? So how did you
Yeah.
kind of assimilate into Texas and make friends in Texas?
That
I
nigga
do.
still ain't got no friend.
I have a few people that I hang out with. Actually, it's just one person I hang out with. Uh and that was just through happenstance through my wife's friend. So
Yeah,
we hang out, and it was kind of like I showed up, we vibe. When it's time to go out and hang out, we hang out.
yeah.
Other than that, nah, I kind of I'm just around.
Well, icebreakers definitely help break the tension, I guess you could say, in terms of just meeting new people. But spoiler alert, I am Mike, y'all, like, in the movie. Like in the film, that is literally me. I was at a elementary school for my first grade to sixth grade. And mid-year in sixth grade, I went from a public school to a private school in Chicago. And we didn't move, from city to city. That didn't happen until later in life. But I mean, literally from every aspect of you mentioned it, like I would have never met the two of you guys if I hadn't moved to Savannah, Georgia. You know what I mean? So like I'm still being Mike. Like this is the second city I've moved to with no family and friends. And it's really hard to make friends and family. And again, I tell Kirsten this all the time, like you don't realize how special or important this is because it's it's a difficult task as a child. Like if you were going to a new school like Mike was and trying to make new children friends, right? It's even harder as
Mhm.
adults, and it's even more awkward as adults too, because you don't think about making new friends in your 40s, you know what I mean, or over 35, right? Because it's like, man, who
Yeah.
is this dude? Like this grown man ain't got no friend. Like it's almost a knock against you, right? I always say this too, like if you try and date and you at a bar or a restaurant by yourself, the girl will literally like cut you down because you like, oh, you by yourself, like you you don't have no friend. Like it's literally a negative thing if you show up to a bar, and then if she's with a group of her friends, now I now have to impress the entire group just to get her attention. So it's not even like I could just speak to her. Now I have to wow the whole group, and then the fact that I'm by myself, the friends are gonna be like, girl, he creepy, he by himself, he ain't got no friends. Like you know what I mean? So
Well, from a woman's perspective, it does seem kind of skeevy if you're at a bar by
see what I'm
yourself,
saying?
like picking
See
up
what I'm saying?
ladies. Like,
But I'm saying like I'm just there and by myself, and you may have caught my attention, but because I'm by myself, I'm now reluctant to even come up to you because I don't want you to think I'm the creepy guy in the bar trying to pick up women by myself. So I didn't miss my wife
yeah.
15 times because I'm sitting by the bar by myself eating. You know what I'm saying?
Aw.
So, but no, like I can relate to the character Mike because coming from a private school to, I mean, coming from a public school to a private school, I mean, you would think the public school was worse, right? Because it was a charter school right across, magnet school that was right across the street from the housing projects in Chicago. It was actually one of the better ones. Shout out to Beasley Academic Center that's in Chicago. Um, and then I went to St. Colubanus, shout out to St. C, which is the private school in Chicago. And you would think that the public school, like I'm not gonna lie, I learned how to cuss when I was in first grade from the public school, riding public school public school buses. Like, yeah, my mom was like, she tells the story to this day, like I was in first grade, innocent can be, saw this guy named George. I was like, hey George, you old son of a bitch, how you doing? He was like, you're not supposed to say that in front of your mom. I was like, oh. And she just thought that was the most funniest thing in the world because she knew I didn't have no idea what I was saying, but I learned all these words
That is
going to a
funny.
public school. Man, got him an SOB running from my mom. But yeah, so you would think the public school was a lot more crazy, but when I went to that private school, people was cussing me out without even cussing. Like this girl called me a roach and a dog, and I was like, I'd rather you just call me a cuss word because you just called me a roach. Like really? They gave me the blues. Gave me the blues for wearing glasses. It took one girl to tell me that I look cute without my glasses. And that was all I need. She's like, Jeff, you got some pretty eyes, but I can't see them with them big ass glasses. So I chucked them boys. Couldn't see shit at the board. You hear me? I was over there like this. Couldn't see it. To this day, I wear contacts. So to this day, I'm still riding that wave off of that one compliment that I look cuter without glasses. So, yeah, it's rough, man. It's really rough. Said I was musty. It's crazy. It was just so
Man.
many things. They put me through the ringer. So the film means that much more to me specifically because um, the representation of them getting married and having that bond, that brotherhood, is something that you cling on to for the rest of your life. And that's how I have lifelong friends. Like it's so many of my brothers to this day, because I only have one blood brother, and all of my friends who I made friends during that time to this day, we talk about that. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, we were the wood back in the day. Like you were Mike and you were Slim, and this was rolling. So, it's kind of one of those things where it's like it does mean that much more because if you think about the story being about the person that was getting married, Roland getting married. It was really about Mike finding his brothers and being afraid that they wouldn't have that connection after he got married, that now he's not going to be the brother and that the wood was going to be broken up and that bond and everything. So, it's one of those things, again, like I said, that men kind of, they definitely had that little fear of like, man, we ain't gonna be boys no more. Things are gonna be different, and we can't do the same things. And it's not. You know what I mean? I got
Yeah.
several friends that I grew up with that got married, and we still can, humbug with the best of them. So it was a good food.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. the movie does have like this kind of Wonder Years vibe, where
It
like
does.
it's
Mm-hmm.
just yeah, it's just nothing nothing extravagant or spectacular happens, but it's just like a day in the life, the ups and downs, the awkwardness, the highs and the lows, and so yeah, I
What I
think
thought,
it's a good film.
I think it was too. What about quotables? Because there was a lot of quotables in this. Like, what was some of your favorite parts or funniest parts of the movie?
I know for me it was when she knocked the shit out of him after he grabbed her booty.
For
Yeah.
that dollar?
He was
Bet on that,
not
My-
punk.
he was not
ah,
expecting that, and
He was
no, he
not.
wasn't. 'Cause she was quick with it. She didn't give it time to marinate.
Not only did she knock him out or slap the shit out of him, and she doubled down and said, "And I'm gonna tell my brother." So it's
yeah,
like I got
Mhm.
2 ass whoopings coming.
and
That's
him
crazy.
looking terrified the whole time. Bless his little heart.
I'm telling you.
Because he ain't had that to do, but I did feel sorry for him because he was sweating.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
My favorite line was it was kind of around the same time, but when Stacy shows up, so you think my sister a hoe? Like, no, I think
I
she
think she
pretty.
purdy.
I don't know who is teaching accents in the 90s, but they need to be weird.
I'm telling you.
Because he
I'm
did not
telling
sound
yeah,
like he was from North Carolina.
yeah, that was
That's
rough.
my
That
same
accent.
complaint about Jason's lyric. I'm like, why are these accents so terrible?
you. I
But
Like,
know,
then
who did
man.
they
I
speak
watched
to? No
it.
one from the South?
I watched it with the subtitles on, and then they spelled it Purty, and I fell out. I think she purty, and I was
Too
like,
funny. Yeah, man. Now I feel like
yeah,
Stacy was the funniest character out of the entire film. Like he was the because he
Yeah.
was the thug, but he was funny with it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like when they got pulled over with the police, it was like, no, you sit your crybaby ass in the core. These little kids got more heart than you. Like
not in
he
the
was so
core.
thug
Oh
in the
man,
core.
in the court. Yeah,
Yeah,
man, that West Coast twang.
yeah, man.
It's-
Definitely. He got the accent
oh
right.
man,
Fun fact,
yeah,
did you
he
know that he
did.
really was a real blood in real life? Like he just turned his acting career into it, but he was a real blood in the streets.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah, man.
I
But
didn't
yeah,
know
Stacy.
that.
Stacy
Mhm.
was the funniest. He was the funniest.
Yeah, he was funny. And then how he turned around and then started like helping him. She loved that Luther Vandross song. I was like,
Hmm.
okay.
To get the fact that he said you took that ass whooping like a G, like the fact that
yeah.
you took the ass whooping, now I can befriend you. It was like, all
But
Yeah.
right,
and he did,
Mhm.
and he did. So hey, and he was
man.
proud of it and wore that bloody lip as a badge of honor.
I'm telling
So,
you,
but yeah,
it's like that.
yeah. But
What did
but
y'all
yeah.
not like about the film? Like, Terrell, you already talked about it. At first you didn't know about like what you liked about it, but what you said it was kind of boring at times too. Kirsten, what do you feel like is the least favorite about the film?
Um, I felt like it was just kind of boring, but not. I guess boring isn't the right word, but it's just like there wasn't any like exciting moment or like any real like real pivotal moment. It was just like this stream of consciousness. Like it was just like I don't want to say a day in the life, but well, I guess actually it was because it was a day, the wedding day, and it was
Hmm.
just with the flashbacks and stuff.
Mhm.
Um, so I guess I can't think of anything that I really just disliked about it. To me, it's one of those movies where I think it's a rewatchable because it's not so much that it's good, but it's so extremely familiar.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think like it's just like this outstanding plot, and I think that the performances were well, but I mean they're all pretty successful actors, so duh.
sure.
But I think that it is so extremely familiar to just young blackness. Like
Mhm.
even though the girls were not the front and center of the film, like even like we've all been girls where like guys have run up and pinched you and like stuff
Mhm.
like that. Like all of the experiences I can say that I've experienced quite a few of the things in the film myself, even though it was really like a young black man's coming of age story. Like, but there were still familiar experiences in the
Yeah.
film. Um, so yeah, I really can't think of anything that I just didn't like. To me, it wasn't something that was strong enough in the film to me for me to be like, I don't like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I
All
don't
right.
know,
Well,
Terrell.
then, Terrell, I was
Oh, go
going to
ahead.
ask you a different one. From a
Okay.
guy's perspective, do you think that men really go through experiencing cold feet? Like, do you feel like that was an accurate depiction in the film? Like, this whole, oh Lord, your life is about to change. Nothing's gonna be the same. You ain't gonna have the same friends no more, and you ain't gonna be able to have the same girls. Like, do you feel like this was a good depiction of getting cold feet, or do you feel like men don't really go through that?
I think some men do. I just think it depends on what uh part of life you're in. Like, I guess if you're younger, you're like, oh man, I'm gonna miss out. I'm not gonna be able to do this anymore. I'm gonna miss out on that. I'm gonna miss out. It's like the what ifs. Like,
Yeah,
what if I don't? Then what if I can do this? Or what if I don't? Then what if I can do
yeah,
that? So I believe it depends on your maturity level in all actuality. Because I was kind of older when I don't think I was as young as them. I think I was probably a little older than them. So I was like, getting no younger, might as well do it. So
yeah.
I
Exactly.
was real jagged edge.
Yeah, yeah.
I get it.
But I want to answer that too, and I'm not a man, but I want
Go
to.
for it.
Are you sure?
Um,
I don't know. It's her
last
birthday.
time
It
I
is her.
looked down there.
It's her
Oh,
birthday, man.
my fault. You
Ease
right.
up
You
on her.
right. You right. You right.
Yeah, ease up on me, even though I ain't gonna never ease up on y'all too.
Exactly. See, well, I got to get the
Um,
dots in.
yeah, but no, this is my opinion on like marriage and like men and stuff. Like, I see these movies and I hear conversations about like men feeling like they're getting trapped into marriage and like, oh, they're not gonna be able to live life the same way and stuff. But I just feel like the roles should be reversed when it comes to like men and women and their thoughts on marriage. Cause like,
Hmm.
and not to down talk you men, but women do a lot of work in marriages. If you're talking about like a traditional marriage, they're raising children, keeping the house clean, cooking, all that stuff. And yeah, there are some men that will share some of those responsibilities, but you can't deny that the bulk of it will fall on the woman, just because it's just
For sure.
traditionally how things go. And I'm like, shit, if I was gonna have somebody to come into my life and upgrade it and cook and clean and wash my clothes, man, I would be out there scratching, itching for a wife. Like, where y'all at? I need a good one. Like, and it's like men run from that, and it's so weird.
Well,
Like,
no, you just said the key word. A good one is
oh
very
God,
rare.
it
No, no,
is.
seriously.
I
I'm
don't.
not. I'm not putting down women. What I'm saying to you is that is the search. You know what I mean? Like, to find a good one, and you have to really turn into like, is this person? And I'm not saying like a worthy candidate, but in a sense, can I do life with this person? You know what I'm saying?
But
Like,
do you think it's easier to find a good woman or to find a good man?
I've never dated a man, so I couldn't tell you. So, but what I was saying is, it's not
You
as easy because
asshole.
you asked me. I didn't. I haven't.
No, but you know what I mean though. Like when you listen to the plights of other people, like I don't know, maybe because I'm a woman, so my experience is different. But like I think there's tons of good women out there, and there's just not
But
as
again,
many men
it,
out there.
it could. I mean, of course, that's always been the underlining thing in our society that everybody says men are dogs and that it's hard to find a good man out here. But again, to your point about there's a lot of good women out here, it's hard to identify those good women because we talk about 2025 and this is a whole different episode, but 2025, a lot of people don't really value marriage as much. If you think about the reason
Sure.
why the divorce rate is up, it was because of COVID, right? Not because people were catching COVID and people just decided to get divorced. They were in the house having to live with their spouse on a everyday basis. And then sometimes you realize, I don't really like this person. Like I thought I knew you, but I don't really know you because you get so
Sure.
caught up in your what's the word I'm looking for? Agenda, not
Okay. Your
agenda. Your
routines.
day routine. Thank you. Your day-to-day
Yeah.
routine where it's like, okay, I'll see you when I get home. It's almost like a glorified babysitter, if you will. And I'm not calling
Yeah.
marriages a babysitting thing, but you get
But no,
caught up in
that's
the
what happens when like children leave for college, like that empty nest syndrome. Like you're alone with this
correct.
person, and you suddenly realize, you know what? I
I
don't
don't really
really
like
like
you.
you.
Yeah. And you
So
grow into a different person, right? You strive to be a different
sure,
person that you want to be every year. But if somebody asks me, "Are you the same as 20?" I'm not. I'm not the same person I am as 20. My
right.
ideals have changed. The core of who I am is still the same, right? But I don't think the same way as I did as a 20-year-old. So again, sometimes you have those are the fillers. Like, okay, I know there's going to be times where I don't like you, right? That's the key part. When they say for better or for worse in those vows, like a lot of people kind of brush past that. Like, no, there's going to be some times when you don't like your significant other or your spouse. You love them, but I don't like you right now. You know what I'm saying? And
Sure.
do we have enough foundation? Do we have enough in our tank to get through those rough times where I don't like you? Can I still respect you? Like, I completely believe if I'm married, no, we're not going to bed mad. I'll see your mad ass in the morning. I love you, mwah, and I'll give you a kiss and I'll see you tomorrow because tomorrow's not really guaranteed. So picking that right person is the biggest part of this. And I think people feel like, they're getting older, right? A lot of people look at me like, well, how long you gonna wait? Well, I'm not gonna settle. I didn't got to this age and this big age. I'm not gonna settle for just because I'm getting to society's terms as older that I need to be married and I want the right person that I can do life with so that no matter what, rain, sleet, or snow, we got each other's back and we got what it takes to really do life together. Otherwise, I'm just a statistic. And I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? The first sign of hard times, I don't like you. Peace out. I can't do this no more. I'm out. You know what I mean? And that's not really the test of a real, marriage or relationship, in my opinion. So
Sure. I think that, you do have to love your spouse, but you also have to love yourself. And you also have to love the idea of marriage.
sure.
Like, because I
Agreed.
think that people get married because they feel that that's what they're supposed to do, but they don't really like marriage or don't even really believe in the institution of marriage, and they would probably never admit it, not even to them, not even to themselves. But like, yeah, you have to be a person that wants to get married and wants to be a part of this institution.
Yeah.
So,
This has nothing to do with it, but I feel like it's two different types of people in the world. Do y'all believe in the people that believe in getting married, or do you believe that there's people out here that it really looks at it as a business decision and they feel like this is what makes sense for my life from a business standpoint?
sure,
Mm.
Okay.
sure. Because sometimes the marriages, I mean, all marriages actually really are transactional, but
Hmm.
like, some are more transactional than others. Like, so yeah, I get that.
So, I mean, I feel like we come from, the old school where our parents, fell in love or grandparents fell in love and started a family and love was really the foundation. In 2025, do y'all feel like we've gotten away from that? Or do y'all feel like there are still a lot of relationships that are founded in or deeply rooted in love? Or do y'all feel like we in the come up era where it's like he makes six figures or he's a millionaire, he's a billionaire, and it just seemed like, or she's the trophy wife, she looked good, we can make some pretty babies. Like, do y'all feel like we're in that society, or do you feel like it's still traditional love out here for relationships and marriage?
Terrell.
Hey, after me, I'm married.
Yeah, so
And you
you
got firsthand experience,
first
so talk to
hand,
her.
damn it.
I mean, yeah, for love, yeah. I mean, yeah, still definitely love out there. If you don't think that, then you definitely shouldn't be getting married. I mean, I understand some people that are under an impression that you have to be with somebody who's at this high stature, high value man, all this
Yeah.
extra stuff. Uh, yes. Why is it calling me? So it's like you you definitely married for love. You should. If not, then what's really gonna happen with it? I mean, it's just gonna crumble. It's not gonna be as good as you thought it is. It's not gonna be. You're not gonna get out of it what you didn't put into it, because if you don't put anything into it, then you're not getting out of it. So I mean, but I don't know. 2025 people, from what I see on social media, TikTok or whatever, I mean, it looks rough out there.
It does.
it seems like it's
Listen,
broken
man.
We got a real game show called Pop the Balloon. Like it started off as just a trend on social media, and now
Oh
you got a
yeah.
whole show on Netflix, Pop the Balloon. Like
Mhm.
that's the society we living in right now.
And
And that's
that shit is
nuts.
so
I
awful.
laugh at it. It's funny to me, but I mean, like, I wouldn't want to be in that position where I'm the single guy trying to walk in with and have people just automatically look at me. I don't say anything or anything.
I'm telling you.
It's so
Self-esteem.
awful. That
That would
show. Oh my
Yeah.
God. But I
it would
mean,
kill me.
Thanks.
it's so awful to where, God, it shouldn't even affect your self-esteem because it's just so terrible. Like I've seen people pop their balloon, like especially guys, and they'll be like, "Well, why'd you pop your balloon?" Cause man, I just wasn't even like, wasn't even feeling her like that. So
No, I think the ladies say
The
it the
ladies be
worst. The
way
ladies,
more savage
they,
than the guys.
yeah, they be like, he
I don't
can't,
like
yeah,
his
look at his
face.
shoes
He
though. I'm
can't
like,
dress. Right.
yeah,
Exactly.
and I'm
he
like
got on
this.
glasses. He like, dang, you hating on me because I can't see?
Right. Exactly.
Well, oh no, I mean that was just one example, but I know it's rough on both ends, and yeah, the women, it's it's low value entertainment. So I mean I get it, but it's just like it's so disheartening to watch because it's like this is what the dating pool is like now. And but to answer your question, Jeff, like I do think that some you would want to be married and be in true deep love. Um, but I think as you get older, you start to consider more things other than love. I think that marrying just for love is a young people's game. I'm sorry.
Hmm. Hmm.
But like I think
Interesting.
that once you get older, you start to look for one definitely love, but also like stability. Is this person somebody I can rely on?
Yeah.
um and you will factor in things like finances and backgrounds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think as you get older, because when you get older you like learn how important that stuff is,
Yeah.
and you begin to consider it a bit more. Like when you're young, you could be broke and marry somebody broke, and maybe hey, you guys will get together and become unbroke. You never know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think when you 30 and 40 and you like marry somebody broke, and it's like shit,
You,
we ain't doing
you
nothing
stop
but
dating for potential. You don't look married for potential anymore. You like,
right.
what you bringing to the table? Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, it's rough. I'm in the dating pool again, and it's
It's
fucking
piss in the
sucks.
dating pool. It's pee in the, somebody peed in the dating pool. I
I
promise you that.
really think
yeah,
that someone has pooped in it now because it
Oh
is.
Lord.
damn.
And the water turning blue. Okay.
Yeah, it's rough. We got a comment that says, "Oh, talking about the balloon pop show. The ladies have better comebacks, but the guys are mean on that show too."
No, they
Yeah,
are. I agree. I agree.
Yeah,
yeah,
oh
They,
yeah, no, they definitely are. Yeah,
but the ladies are more
mhm.
yeah. It
savage
was
for
when
sure.
somebody came out there. The young lady had a deeper voice, and they went as soon as they heard her say her name. I was like,
I'm
dang,
not. I'm not. I'm
they
not even gonna
need
lie,
to give
man.
her a chance.
2025. You gotta check the Adam's apple. You gotta know what's going on, bro. There's a
I
lot of
No,
transgenders.
mean, yeah, that
Seriously.
is true, but yeah,
Yeah.
that show is I don't know. I just think it makes like a mockery of the dating process, and just like at least I'm not a fan of dating shows, period. I don't really watch them. But at least on other dating shows, even though it might be fake, might be, reality
Scripted.
TV,
Yeah.
but it's you still at least are given the option to get to know people like to a certain extent. And that Pop the Bloom show is oh god. It's but you know what? It's an entertainment, so
Yeah.
who,
But I mean,
who
like,
are me to say?
but it's not nothing new under the sun. It's just more, televised now and more at your fingertips with
Sure,
social
yeah.
media. Because like I relate to this film again. Like I've had plenty of girls that overlook me and kind of put all these negative connotations on me just because I was the new kid in school. It wasn't like I wasn't attractive to them, but they made me feel unattractive. You know what I mean? Like, oh, oh, you're ugly. You, like I said, the girl called me a dog or a roach or a gorilla or dark skin and all these negative things. And really was just the fact that I was the new kid and it was like she didn't want to be the first one to either befriend me or date the new kid. And it was like, dang, like, is it that bad? Just be, I didn't have a choice. My parents put me in this school. You know what I mean? So like, why are you
Yeah.
taking it out on me? And I even relate that to the character Alicia. Like, she was kind of grossed out about Mike because he was the new kid. But eventually she warmed up to him and they ended up being in a relationship and had a real bond because, you know, what I mean, he really did like put himself out on a limb. If the fact that if you can get beat down for love, that's just, you know, my brother beat the brakes off of you and you still want to come around, that lets you know I really like you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes it's just a luck of the draw, I guess you could say, in that, you know, you were a new kid and you just didn't have anything else against you, just you were
Yeah.
new. You know what I mean? So,
Well,
you know,
I have a question. And
sure.
then it's probably good to wrap up here. And let's head to the end of the movie. What do you guys think about the ending of the movie where it's kind of left open? Like, did they get back together? Did they rekindle or not? Like, you really don't know. You know, we know that they reconnected, but we don't know what happened.
Yeah,
What do y'all think
Talking
about?
about, talking about Mike.
I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah, his character, and then why did they have Sanaa Lathan play? What's her name? Melinda.
because it's annihilated.
I mean, I get it,
Exactly.
but they didn't even try with that casting. I was like, nah,
They
they
didn't
don't
even.
look.
Oh, they both ended up going to USC. She went to the WNBA, and he got hurt playing for the Lakers.
You know what? Throw a log off for me, please.
Yeah.
Is
Go to the bathroom.
that not what happened? This is not a continuation of that story?
You know what? You might be right there, buddy. But still, log off for me because you don't know how to act.
Too funny.
But yeah, what do y'all think about it? Just leaving it open for interpretation. I
Yeah.
would say.
Yeah, I think they left it open on purpose, you know what I mean, to kind of let the audience decide. But it's nothing like that old thing. Like once you go through life and then you see somebody that you had you in a chokehold.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, currently, you know, I'm in a similar chokehold. I had a friend for 20 years that was strictly platonic, and yeah, we trying to figure things out as well. You know what I mean? And it kind of life is life in between that time, and then you're away from that person for so long. When you guys finally reconnect, you're trying to figure out like, yo, what is it like? Do you still have something there, or if you know, or if you can build on something? For our case, it was like we've been friends for so long. Can we, you know, move into from a platonic place to a romantic place? So, you know, again, it goes back to what I told you about trying to find the right person and the right balance. So you never know. You never know. But
Yeah.
I think they left it open on purpose. You know what I mean? At least you put it on your mind, like, you know, did they re-spark that flame? Like, is there the part two? Is there a new wedding going to be on the horizon or what? So I think it was just a
Yeah.
reconnection.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah, I
think
agree.
that. Yeah. Go ahead, Trey. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. I believe they definitely left it open on purpose. Um, but you never know. I mean, she lived in New York. He lived. I mean, that's two separate coasts. I mean, they could have. She just came in town for the wedding. They could have rekindled some things, or they could have just been like, "We'll keep in touch." And if I'm ever out in New York, or if you ever come back to the wood, then we'll see what happens from there. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they definitely had to leave that open because. But I'll get into that when we do the best, worst, weirdest.
Okay.
But
Well, I was just gonna say that I do like that they left it open. Because we see movies where it's like, oh, there's this time loss. Like in the beginning is hot and heavy, and then they separate, and then at the end they smash them together, and everything's perfect. And it's like life is not that clean cut. It's just not.
right,
So leaving it for the audience to kind of figure out or give your best guess, I think that was really smart, or trying to build like this major love reconnection, and that be the whole premise of the film. A life doesn't work that way, not all the
Yeah.
time. So I thought that was actually pretty brilliant for them to do that. And it was awkward and sweet, and just like the rest of the movie, it was just, and it's how life is. So yeah, I do like that they left that open like that. Well, do we have any final thoughts before we move into best worst where it is?
I think we're good.
Okay.
Good.
Well, Terrell, how about you show them how it's done? This is a part of our podcast where we go around and we go around the room and give the best, worst, and weirdest part of the film. And Terrell, show them how it's done.
Show me how it's done. All right. So, best part of this film, I love the cast. I love what I love more than anything. I love seeing them when they were younger, more than I like seeing them as adults. If they
Agreed.
had made the movie only about that time frame when they were
Yeah.
kids, and then they transitioned to them getting married at the end, that would have been a better film for me. But the good part was just seeing them growing up, going through puberty, adolescence, getting into high school, getting their crushes, going to dances, just living life. That was the best part of the film for me. The worst part of the film to me was I didn't like, and that's just probably a problem I have in general. It's like the police came, two black cops, and I was just like, here we go with that trope. And it's like those, shout out to law enforcement, love them, need them, all that good stuff. In trouble, that's who I'm gonna call. But sometimes you get some kin folks that ain't kin folks, and they try to assert that dominance over you. And it's like, bruh, it was a broken tail. Like, give them a ticket, let them go. What you pulling them out the car for? Searching them, looking for, even though they did do something wrong. But the thing is, you had
Didn't
no
know
purpose
that.
to think that they did something wrong then. Exactly. You didn't know they did anything wrong. So, I mean, sometimes you just got to, that stuff like that always bothers me. Though, when you see that black cop going the extra mile just because it's another black person, I'm like, you're doing a lot for no reason.
That's why they
And
made
I
fun
would
of it
say the
and
weird.
Don't Be a Menace. They remember Bernie Mac? They
Oh
made
yeah,
fun of
yeah.
just that because that was a stereotype in all the '90s movies. Stereotype was all these black cops being mean to other black kids. I hate my black gums. You know what I mean? All that.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, good. I know. I remember that now. When you talk about Bernie Mac, he was really like anti-black. Like, relax.
Mm-hmm.
And the weird part of the film was, I just thought it was weird. Some of the casting choices that they made, like you said, the people didn't really match up to when they got older. It kind of was a little off. You really didn't see like, oh, that's such and such. Like, the only one I was like, okay, that could have been him is Roland and Taye Diggs. And I was like, okay, yeah, I can see how I can go that way.
Their
But everybody
hairline
else, it
was
was
the
like,
same.
man, they black, put them in. They was like, they even tried to seemed like they tried to lighten her skin toward the end when they were like in high school, like at the dance. Like, she looked a little lighter toward the end of the film. Like, they put a little extra heavy makeup on her to get her a little lighter. So when you saw her at the wedding and it was Sanaa Lathan, you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know if anybody else noticed that,
I
but I
missed
seen.
that.
I was like,
Now I want to
look
go
like
back and
she's
see that
even
because
lighter than she was. Like right at the end, right when they were at that last dance, she was like a little bit lighter than she was throughout the whole movie. And I was like, that's interesting. So yeah, that was the weird part for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Gotcha.
I'll go next. I would say the best part, I'm gonna piggyback on Terrell, like seeing the flashbacks. And I think I like period pieces, like movies from a different time periods. So like having a movie that would have been just like completely based in the 80s would have been just great. I felt like I guess we needed that stuff to get us to the wedding day, but I honestly felt like it just wasn't all that necessary, and it could have been a very different film. Just like kind of how Roll Bounce was, where it's a film
Mhm.
that's set, in the 70s, and it leaves us there. We didn't did we need to see a wedding day? Like, was that necessary? I mean, I guess it was what was going to bring them all together, but we could have really just watched a one big long Black Wonder Years episode, and it would have been great. But anyway, it was good to see all those actors as babies because they were super young in this movie. Um,
Mm.
and the worst would be uh, the accents, like, and it was like he pulled the accent out in like certain parts, but then for the rest of the film, he would talk like somebody regular from that area, and it was like, this ain't making no sense. Like, I felt like the only time the accent really came on strong was when he was like, I think she pretty, and that was pretty much it. Like, so I mean, but okay. And then the weirdest, I'm sorry, but that casting choice with Melinda and Sanaa. I think, is that her name, Melinda Williams? Now I gotta look it up and see because it's gonna bother me.
Yeah.
But like
You are
she,
correct.
yeah, Melinda Williams. She is this young, like, kind of almost Asian looking black person, and then you pull Sanaa out. That don't make no sense. But okay.
Well, it don't make no sense, but she played Bird in Soul Food, the series, and she didn't look like Nia Long either. So, so the casting,
Well, that was completely different casting, though. I could see that, but
I wish, but they tried to get it. Like if you think about comparison to Soul Food, the series
they
versus
look
Soul Food, the
better.
movie.
They look more alike than her and Sanaa. Like, but anyway, Jeff,
Mm.
All
show the
right.
people how it's done.
Well, the best for me, obviously, is like I said, the representation. You know what I mean? The representation not only with, such a good black cast as all of us mentioned, but just like I said, what a young adolescent boy is going through. I do feel like we did need the wedding because it symbolized you have to grow up, right? At some point. Can't just be living, the single life forever. You can't just be, you have to enter manhood, and part of being a man is not just the age, but it also is, how are you the foundation of your family? How are you being a good husband? How are you being a good father? So I feel like that wedding was the transition into that person, that last level of being a man. You know what I mean? So it was like he finally had to grow up, and that's what that wedding symbolized, in my opinion, in the film. And that's why he had cold feet. You know what I mean? Because he's like, oh man, I'm really about to give up all this, and tried to double back to the ex. But shout out to the ex-girlfriend, you know what I mean? That, was like, yo, like,
Mm.
I'm not one, she respected herself enough to be like, I'm not your dip, I'm not your side piece, but like, no, you're gonna go marry this woman and stop being scared, like face your fears and get out there. So she kind of reinforced, and don't do that to that woman. She popped them in the head for the bride. Like, don't put that woman through that. You know what I mean? So, shout out to her because it could have been the opposite way. Like, yeah, let's get this last one out the way. You about to get married tomorrow, you know what I mean? Or whatever. So yeah, I think that also kind of goes within that growing pain, if you will, or that growth and evolution, because she also gave him a little reassurance. It's one thing to have reassurance from your boys and be like, yeah, it's cool, man, get married and blah blah blah. But having an ex-girlfriend that still mutually respects you and knows that this is good for your life, instead of her trying to sabotage and then be like, man, let's get that whole thing back. Why you ain't trying to marry me? You know what I'm saying? It could have been us. So yeah, forget that girl. You know what I mean? It could have been a different way. So I think we need the wedding to kind of show that evolution and that growth. The worst part of the movie, I would say, um, yeah, maybe some of the cast are like, for one, if this world was mine, like I get it. I'm a big Luther fan. Like that's one of my musical inspirations when I sing. But um for, let's just say, I don't know, was that high school they were in that they were at the school dance, or was that in elementary? But for that older song to be this girl's favorite song to slow dance to, it's like that's kind of weird. Like I remember going back in the day, it was probably the sign of the times. Like I grew up in the New Jack swing era, you know what I'm saying? Where like the 90s was popping with good R&B, maybe Boys to Men, maybe whatever. So if you really put your mind, New Edition should have been, if it's an 80s theme, New Edition is killing it right now. And they're more closer to their age range. So that's your favorite song. Like it's a great song. I can see that at the wedding. If that was the wedding song, if this were mine, makes perfect sense. But it being like her favorite song and you like 12 years old, 13 years old, like come on, that was a little weird. But that was only the thing I thought was a little weird and off-putting. I would say, yeah, I think that was it. What else? I guess the weirdest part, I thought that was weird, was the music selection, and I guess that coincides with worst. But the worst part, I don't know, man. Like you said, maybe they left us on a cliffhanger. You know what I mean? Where they're like, did Mike and you know Melinda's character get back together? Like, are they living happily after? Like I said, is this a part two? Could this movie have the bones to be a part two? We saw this with the Best Man, right? They came out Best Man Holiday, then they turned it into a series. So we pretty much got like a three-part and beyond with Best Man, and it was a lot of bones there that they could build off of. Could there be a Wood part two? I feel like they kind of ended it. Maybe that's where that budget ran out. But maybe that's what the worst part is. Is like we kind of were left to leave our own interpretation of the movie and see, whatever happens.
I think it would have been great as a series, but only as like the flashbacks, like how the new Wonder Years is. Even though I think it was canceled, but it's still like it had at least 2 or 3 seasons. But I loved it. Like that whole time period, little young black boys in the 80s, like absolutely. But yeah, well, let's open up happy hour. Terrell, who from the film would you have a cocktail with?
Let's see. I am having a cocktail with Stacy. Having a cocktail with Stacy. We're gonna kick it. Cause I know he know what to drink. I know he know where to go. All the hood spots in the woods. So I'm gonna go hang out with Stacy. We're gonna see what's going on.
Okay. Well, I would have a cocktail with Tanya, the ex-girlfriend, Tamala Jones. I don't know how to pronounce it. Yeah.
Give me my number too.
Okay, yeah, sure. I'll do that. Yeah, she's super cute. But yeah, I would have a cocktail with her because she was hilarious in this movie. Like the way she was so annoyed with him and was just like, girl, come and get him. Come and get his ass. So she was funny in this film.
And with that water hose too, priceless.
Yes, absolutely. All right, Jeff, you're up.
I know, right? Terrell took my person. I wanted to holler at Stacy, but I'm holler at Mike. Let him know, hey, bro, I understand. I'm just like you, man. I understand what's going on. So happy hour with Mike for sure.
Okay. Good. Well, real quick, do you guys want to share what you're binging? Terrell, what are you binge watching?
Okay. That came out of nowhere.
Wait, no, okay.
Doctor Who. Okay.
Really?
Watching Doctor Who, the new Doctor Who.
I am shocked.
And,
okay.
911. The only reason I watch it is my oldest is like, I'm watching Doctor Who, and I was like, okay, let me check this out.
Okay.
Interesting. I've never seen any other Doctor Who's, but it's a black guy, so I'm like, I'll support it.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, right now I'm watching The Neighborhood. Yeah, with Cedric the Entertainer. When I first saw it, I was like, this is corny, and I never went back to it. And then because I watched like the first episode, and then I went back to it, and I'm like been loving it. And so I'm binge watching that, and also the Good American Family show on Hulu, the one with the little girl that they think might be like in her 20s, but she was adopted as a little girl.
That story is so insane.
It's crazy. You watch it? Have you watched it? Good American Girl?
Yeah, I'm indirectly watching it, but yeah, I'm watching it.
It's crazy.
It's so crazy. I'm like, wow.
Jeff, what you binging?
You know what? It's the playoffs right now, so I'm binge watching the NBA playoffs. That's what I'm binge watching. So yeah, basketball is my favorite. But I will say that I was watching the documentary on the new, not the Redeem team because I saw that one on really good documentary too. But the last Olympic gold medal that we brought home this past year with LeBron James, Steph Curry, Katie, and all of them. I just saw that again on Netflix. So kind of was one of my binge worthy things that correlates with the playoffs.
Cool. Okay. Well, do we have any final thoughts?
Oh, I think this was a good episode, y'all. We got to unpack real life things and related it to the movie like we always do. But I think yeah, we found out I found out some things about both of y'all little freak nasty lives. You know what I mean?
Anyway, yeah, it was a good episode, and as always, we thank you guys for tuning in with us. We had some viewers on Facebook and some viewers on YouTube, so that was great. And we had a good time discussing the woods, and we hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. And if you want to know more about our podcast or about the hosts, you can go to sipsandscriptspodcast.com or follow us on Sips and Scripts Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. We would love to hear from you. If you want to suggest a film or if we missed something about today's film, just drop us a line. Let us know. And until next time, cheers.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Cheers.